Hello, good morning, and how are you? Welcome to our other video of learning how to make web applications using Laravel. In today's class, we are going to proceed from where we stopped at in the previous video. So in today's class, we are specifically going to look at how we can manage the user authentication, such as including the user permissions and user role assignment and management, all of them. So we're going to look at how we can use the whole user role management in the using Laravel admin. So if it is the first time to hear about Laravel admin, I would recommend that you first go through the videos that we've been teaching about this particular topic, and you can find these videos on our YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel is here, so you just simply come to YouTube and then search for Learn It with Muhindo. So that is our YouTube channel that you are using. Let me zoom so you can see it. That one here. So go ahead and search for that. Then after, you'll see the first YouTube channel that comes on top of your screen. Or if it doesn't see it, you'll just look for channels, and then you specifically see this channel. So open that channel and then go to playlists. So when you go to playlists, you'll find the different playlists that we have been posting on this channel. So you can move to this side to browse to a specific playlist like this. So the playlist that we always post on these videos of learning how to make web application using Laravel admin, it is this one. This playlist, which has a white and a yellow, white and black and yellow indicator, or the yellow number. This one, which is Laravel admin, you can see it on top there. Okay, so click on this playlist, Learn Laravel admin full dashboard tutorial. So click on that one, and then you'll find a list of videos, or that you always do what? That you always demonstrate, or that you always teach about Laravel admin. So if you start from this very first video up to where we are right now, you will not get lost, or you will understand really what Laravel admin is. So Laravel admin is a very powerful package that helps us to make dashboards with simplicity. So if it's your first time, I really recommend you come and watch these videos, beginning from this first one up to the last one. I'll also put the link of this playlist in the tutorial, in the description of this video, so you should be able to do it, to get it easily in case you want to learn Laravel admin. So with that much said, let's go straight into our business. We'll always do 40 minutes so you can see our count has started counting. So without wasting much time, let's go ahead and start learning. So as you can see, we always use this project to demonstrate. So I'm going to go ahead and serve this project, then we take it from there. So I'll open my terminal by pressing Ctrl and the tilde button, and then after opening the terminal, I'll go ahead and run Laravel admin, PHP artisan, then I say serve. So I say PHP artisan serve, the server will start serving, and then I can come to my project, to the web, or to my browser, and put in the link of the project, so you can see the project has started successfully. So our project is located at stroke Laravel, stroke admin. So when I open stroke admin, I should be able to see the login if it's my first time. If it is not, I should be able to see the project itself. So as I told you today, we're going to go straight into permissions and user role management. Then these other things that are remaining will come back for them later and see how we finalize them. So let's go ahead and go to our documentation that we always follow. So we'll come straight here to permissions. So as you can see here, they'll tell you that Laravel admin permissions control the module expander and the slide bar, and the sidebar authentication. You can see the user permission and role management panel. The use permission control follows. So they're telling us that Laravel admin, it helps us with the permissions, and this permission can help us to control the navigation bar here, and also what someone can do, what can access, and what they cannot access on different routes. For example, to add a permission, we can add a permission to a specific endpoint, as you can see here, and then we specify which method a person or a specific user should be able to get. And the possible methods that are being supported, we have the get and all the HTTP method, that is post and put and delete, and that can be accessed in a word that can be limited to what, to a specific user. So the page of permissions, it is there, page controller, permission. So you can check for permission here, like this. So in case someone does not have this permission to create, they will not be able to do that, to access it. So we're going to begin with this one, and then we'll proceed to other permission. And this is how you can get a user. This is how you can get a user ID. This is how you can get the user roles that someone has. This is how you can get the permission of a specific user. And this is how you can check if a user has a certain role or not, a certain access or not. And then this is how we can check if the user can do a specific role or not. And then this is how we check if the user does not have a permission. And then this is how you check if the user is a super admin. And this is how you check if a user has more than one role, or a user must have a list of roles. So this is how you can create a middleware that can limit specific routes. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how we can all do all these things together. So I want to all right. Okay, so let's go and see how we can demonstrate this. So this is our project. So where do you find permissions? You can find permissions and roles under administration. It comes with your dashboard. So you can find permissions and role under administration, and then you'll find permission and then roles. So permissions is a specific distinct access that you can give to someone. Then a role is a group of permissions. For example, you can say maybe, for example, a student can only view marks, but they cannot create a marks, cannot create marks. So a student is a role. So being able to view marks only is a permission. So a student as a student can have many roles. For example, can have many permissions. So a role of a student can be able to do what? To create, let's say that a role of a student can be able to create a lecture, or can be able to log in, so those are distinct permissions. So when you merge them and put them together, they'll make one thing of a student, which is called a role. So we're going to begin with a distinct thing, which is a permission, and then you see how we can merge those permissions and make them to become a role, and how we can assign this particular permission to to a specific user. So in this project that we're doing, we're having something called having something called a building. So it's a hostel management system. So we have something called a building. So let's say that a customer can only view the rooms. Okay, let's say something called rooms. Let's say the customer can only view rooms, but he cannot create a what? He cannot create a room. So we're going to demonstrate that and see. So we're going to create a permission called create room. Okay, and then if a customer will not allow you to do what? To create a room. So let us first of all, let us create a role called what? Customer. So in that customer role, we'll give it what? Different permissions. So to create a role, you just simply come to admin and then click on roles, and then you'll be able to access the role controller. Okay? So whoever, you can access this role controller from this endpoint if it's not on your dashboard. I mean on your what? On your panel, on your sidebar, or in your menu. You just simply come to the project and they say authentication, then stroke roles. Then you'll be able to access these roles. So we're going to create a role called customer by just simply click on new here, and then you can simply give it a slug. So a slug is a unique identifier that you can use to identify a specific role. So let's say that I want to create a role called customer. So you can just simply say customer like this. So a slug should always be in small letters and should always never have spaces. That's how it is recommended. So I'm going to say a slug called customer, and then the name is what the user will be able to see. So the user is going to, the name is going to be customer with a capital letter. And then let's say that this user can log in, and then maybe, okay, let's say that the user can log in and can access the dashboard. So those are the two permissions that I have given this user. I hope you are together. And then I create what? I create this what? I create this role. So this is just nothing, it is nothing but a role of a person that can access dashboard and can log in. So we're going to create a user now himself, a customer himself. Okay, so I can give him the role of what? Of a customer. So to do that, I'll come here to users and then click on new, and then click on and give this user and create a user who is going to act as what is a customer. So this user, we can call it maybe customer X, okay, and then you give it a name, maybe customer X. You can give him a photo. Let's give him a password 1 2 3 4. Let's give him a password called admin, and then also admin as the password. And then here on the role, we're going to give him this role that we just created, this one of customer. Okay? And then we cannot specify maybe permissions. For now, let's just go ahead and create what? This customer. So we can save in case we want this customer to log in again. So there we are. So we have two users. One has a role of administrator, another one has a role of what? Of customer. So I'm going to create another instance or another incognito version of the system and try to log in as this particular customer, and then from there I will demonstrate individual access roles etc. So let us go ahead and create a new instance of the browser by pressing Ctrl and Shift and N. So this is another instance of the browser, which is the incognito one. So I'm going to visit I'm going to visit our endpoint or our project where it is. There it is. And then I put stroke what? Stroke admin where the dashboard is. So this is the dashboard. And then after, I'm going to do what? I'm going to log in as a customer X, and the password is 1 2 3 4. The password is admin. And then I click on login. So when I click on login, here I'm logging as what? As a customer. So since you have not limited this customer, you can see that this customer can literally see everything. Okay? So you can see tasks, you can even see, you see now, this user, you remember this user, or this particular customer, we gave him only two things. We gave him ability to see, to see what? To see the dashboard and to log in. So he can do only those two. But if this user try to access the tasks, he cannot see the permission. If he cannot have he doesn't have the permission. If this user tried to access maybe, let us say, the rooms, remember I had an endpoint called rooms, this one, you see, the user does not have what? Does not have permission. So let us go ahead and see how we can give this user ability to access the rooms, okay? So that is something that we're going to do first. How can we give this user a specific permission to be able at least to access the rooms, or maybe they can be able to create orders? So to do that, we'll go ahead and come back. So we have two instances. Here is one for the customer, and this is one for the what? For the administrator. So let us go ahead and see how we can do that. So I'll come here to the administrator panel, which is this one, and then come to what? To permissions. So we're going to create different permissions. You can create as many permissions as you want, okay? So we're going to create a permission for accessing the rooms only, and then also going to create a permission for managing the rooms. You can even go ahead and create a distinct permission for only editing the room. You can create a permission for only adding a new room, so something like that. So I'm going to create a permission for only accessing the room, and then the rooms module, okay? So to do that, we'll go ahead and come to permissions and then click on new permission, and then we can say, we can call this permission just rooms view. You can call it anything that you want. For me, I'm going to call it rooms, then view. So you can have maybe rooms, then maybe manage, something like that, okay? So we're going to have rooms view, and then you're going to put it here and call it rooms view, something like this. You can call it anything that you want. And then here you put the method that is allowed for this user to access on specific endpoint that you're going to give. So we're going to say, we can merge this. Okay, let us do this distinct permission. Okay. So we're going to say is going to access only the get. So get means he can only view. Get means view. Post means he can add, he can create new thing. Then put means that he can edit. Then delete means he can delete. Then patch it means that he can do all the four, and then these are the options, other options. So let's give him only the get. The get method, it means that he will be allowed only to do what? To list. So you come and get the endpoint. The endpoint is going to be what? It's going to be rooms. So that is the endpoint where the link is. Okay, if you remember the endpoint of this room, it is under stroke rooms. So you put there the what? The endpoint. If you want another one, you put under, and then you put another one. Then you go ahead and submit. So anyone who has this particular role will be able to access, sorry, I have to put stroke. Let me edit again. You'll have to put stroke, stroke like this, stroke rooms. So anyone with this endpoint will be able to access, with this user role, will be able to access the what? This endpoint of rooms. So after creating a user role, we are going to give this user role. For example, you can give it to the user directly, okay? You can give it to the user directly. This permission, sorry, you can give the user directly by just simply coming to users, and then come to that particular users, and then edit, and then come to here where there is permission. You can give him that permission directly from here. And then mean that this one will only work on this particular user. Or you can just simply come to roles and give this permission to a certain role. So come here to roles, come to edit, and then give it a permission of room view. Okay, so in add there room view and then save, it means that people who have the roles of customer, they'll also be able to do what? To view the rooms. So I'll come here and refresh. And if I click on the room, you'll now see I'll be able to do what? To view the rooms. I hope you've understood that. If I try to access other things, I'll not be able to view them. If I try to access the rooms, I'm able to view the rooms. Why am I able to view the rooms? Because I have a role of a customer. And if I have a role of a customer, I'll be able to do what? To access the rooms, since a room has permission of editing. So let me try to create. You remember this role, we limit it only to the get only. So if I try to click on new to create new, you see I don't have a permission. So does it mean I don't have permission to do what? To edit or to add or to modify to create a what? A new room. And I click on new, permission denied. So what does it mean? It means that if I come and come to our permissions and add it another what? Another permission, let's say of post on this particular endpoint, and I save it. So does it mean if I come back to this customer model and then I try to click on new, you'll see, let me give it maybe head, I think, and good. You know that it has even the delete button there, so let me give all the options on this particular endpoint. If you want to give all the options, you can just leave everything, I think, then save and then refresh. Come to rooms, then try to create new. So now if we give all the permissions, all the actions on this one, it's not able to create. Let me see. Let me see what could be the issue, and then this particular user should be able at least be able to create. We're going to see how we can do that. So, so this is now protected. So I can give this get. Let me put only the get. So that's how you can limit someone from what? From accessing a specific endpoint. I'm going to see why it's not creating specifically. So that's how you can limit someone from accessing a specific endpoint. So if you come to these other endpoints, they are protected. Only this one, they can be able to do what? To access. So you can give multiple access. Let's say that you also want to merge these tasks also. You can also create for it a specific permission. What? For the specific user. So after doing that, the next thing we're going to see now, how we can give multiple permission to a specific endpoint of user. So to do that, you can just simply come here to under roles, and then you can come to edit, and then you can add more than one permission. So say all permissions, then this person will be able to do what? To access all the permissions. So if I come here and I refresh, you'll see this person will be able to do what? To access everything. If you give all permissions. So if I don't want this person to have all the permissions, we can remove this all permission, and then you'll be able to do what? To access only the permissions that we give to that person. So that is how you do it in the user interface. So now another thing is now how you can limit the access of what someone is not allowed to do what? To access. So if you don't want a person to access specific endpoints, let us say that if I'm not allowed to access the tasks, for example, I'm not allowed to access the tasks, then why am I saying them? I should have my menu where I'm able to see things that I should access only. So if you want to do that, it means that you have to modify the permission of what this user should be able to do what? To access. So to do that, I'll log in as administrator, and then you come to menu. Okay, so that is very important to limit a person to see what they should only see. So you come to menu, and then when you click on menu, so this permission you can bind them on a what? On a specific access of the menu. So you just simply come to menu. For example, this person is not allowed to see the tasks. So what does it do? What we are going to do what to see how we can remove these tasks from the customer menu. So how do you do it? We'll come to the tasks, and then we can limit these tasks from who we can access it. We can either limit by roles, or we can limit by what? By permissions. So you can say only administrators should be able to access this tasks menu item. So if you leave it empty, it means that everyone will be able to access it. So if you say only administrators, it means that only admins can be able to do what? To access that one, and then submit. So if you save and then come to the admins, to the users access role, to the users dashboard, you'll see the user will not be able to see the what? The menu of tasks. You will not be able to see the menu icon, the menu option. And if we come here to the administrators panel, you'll see the administrator can still be able to see the what? The tasks. So that's how you can individually hide a specific what? Specific endpoint or specific items from the menu of different users. Okay, so you can see here I'm able to say that only the user should be able to see the rooms. So I can go ahead and still limit, maybe this user should not be able to access the forms by just simply coming here to the forms parent icon, and then I limit it to administrators only. Okay, and I submit. I can go ahead and limit all these remaining things that they should not be seen by a specific user. I can go ahead and limit this one. Also, the grid should be shown to the administrators only. I can go ahead and say also, this one admin should only be seen by administrator. That's what they said. So by doing like this, different users will be able to see different menus on their dashboard. So if I log in as a customer, I'm able to see only my dashboard and the rooms. Okay, and if I'm logged in as maybe at the hotel owner, I'll be able to see everything that I want to see. So you can have different kind of users. Let us say that you have the front desk, and then these front desk people will only access specific things. So you can also create for them the user permission or user access roles, and then give them permission, and then after come and limit the menu, because you can limit the menu by adding even multiple roles. You can even add this as a second role, but because there are only 2 roles, if I add a second, I will not be able to demonstrate that. So I can limit it to only administrator. So it means that only someone who has the role of administrator can be able to do what? To access this particular endpoint, or can be able to view that particular endpoint on what? On their menu. So come and play with that, so you can be able to do what? To access it. So also, if you don't want to have the menu here, or if your menu is not here, you can find the menu stroke under administrator stroke authentication stroke menu. That is where Laravel admin always put for you the menu. So with that one done, so the next thing you're going to do right now is how can we programmatically use these roles and menu to limit the users or to manage the users. So the first thing, for example, we can say that only person who has a permission of maybe customer view or edit view can be able to see this, something like this, or someone who has a permission to maybe edit or to create a new task can be able to see this. Programmatically, how can we do that? Okay, so let me come back to the documentation. You'll see that we have different things. For example, we have permission, then check, then here you can be able to check a specific permission for the user. So this one will limit someone from accessing a specific endpoint, for example, if we don't want them to do what? To access it. And this one is basically on a specific model. All right, so let's go ahead and see how we can limit a user to access a specific thing by use of permission. So as you've seen, we have now mainly two things. We have a role and a permission. A role is a group of permissions, and a permission is a specific rule that has to be fulfilled in order for someone to proceed. So let us go ahead and see. So we can check using two. We can either check using a role, or you can check using a permission. So let's say that we are going to allow only someone who can view the tasks. Let's say you are going to allow only someone who has the role of view room to be able to access this one or to be able to view this. So how shall we do it? We are going to first go to where it is. It is now controller of admin. So I'll come here and come to our home controller. If you still remember, home controller, here it is. So if I want only to limit this widget, this particular widget, to be shown to specific people, okay? So I'm going to check first of all using the permission, okay? Using permission. So if you want to check using permission, you use can, okay? You get the user and then you say can. So when you say can, then you'll be able to do what? To access that particular user role. User permission, to limit by that particular user permission. So I'm going to see, remember I've only created just only one permission. This is the one that we're going to use to demonstrate. So I'll come here to our system and then come to where there is permissions. To our system here, and then come to where there is permissions. Let me create another permission. I'm going to call it maybe can manage. Okay, manage permission. For managing, you can create as many permissions as you want. Okay, so I'm not going to use endpoint. I'll just be using it to check if someone has it so they can manage. So let's say maybe a customer. Or let us specifically give this permission to this user. So you can give even a permission directly to the user. I'm going to give it I'm going to give him a manage permission. So let me first remove it first okay, let's say that the user cannot manage. I want it just to see how we can limit it. I remove it. Then I save. I'll remove the role instead. Customer permission, and then I remove the manage permission. Okay. Now, want to see if we can limit a specific person not to see this because they don't have a specific permission. So we can just simply come here and then get the user. So how do you get the user who is logged in? You can get the user who is logged in by using this method. Admin, then auth, and admin user, then you'll be able to get the user. For example, if I want to get the user who is logged in right now, I can access this user from here. I say user equals to admin, and then you put the colon and then put user like this. So by doing like this, you'll be able to access the person who is logged in. Okay. You can as well access this person who is logged in by using auth and then put user like this. All of them, they work the same way. So if I die here, if I put dd and then I put here user, and then I come and refresh, you'll be able to see that I'm able to see everything about this particular user. So if you wanted to display the username, etc. of this person, you can display them from here. So let's begin with the permission. Let us see if this user can. Let's say that only the user who have the manage can only manage. Okay, the manage permission can only access this form, this short form that we're having here. Okay, this one. So how do you do that? You can just simply say if, and then you say the user, and then you put can, and then you put the permission that you want to do what? To limit this user from doing. So you can say maybe can manage. Okay. Like this. So can manage. So if this user has, you put here the slug. Remember, each permission you're giving it a slug. So this is the slug that you put here that you can use to check. So if I say if user can manage, then can access this endpoint. Like this. So if you don't have the manage permission, it means that you will not be able to do what? To access it. So if I come here as a customer and I try to refresh, you'll see I'll not be able to access it. Why? Because I don't have that permission. But if we go ahead and add this permission to the customer, either directly on his user, on his user profile, and give him a permission of managing. That is maybe when you want to limit people with this one can do this one cannot do this one can do this, that's how I can manage. So if I say this permission, this user can do what, can manage, I come and refresh, you'll see he can now be able to do what, to access. If I come and remove that this user cannot manage, and come and refresh, you'll see the user cannot do what, cannot be able to access that one. So I hope you've understood how we can do what, how we can limit. Whoever superadmin, the superadmin can access everything, the one who has administrator action, administrator pan. So I hope you've understood that. Hope you've understood that, whereby you can limit a user from doing something using the can. So this can permission, this can is used to check the permissions, and you can use it for so many things. You can limit the user from accessing a specific endpoint. You can use it to disable what a user should not be able to see. For example, let's say that we don't want a user, you don't want a user who has a permission, who has a specific permission to do what, to see the create button. So you can also do that from there. So let us go ahead and see now how you can limit someone using the role, okay? Using the role. So you can limit someone from using a specific role using the word is role. So is role, you can use it to do what, to limit the user by use of roles, okay? So let us say that maybe only customers cannot access this. We have demonstrated how to use permissions. With permission, use can. Now with roles, use is role. So let us say that if someone has a customer role, cannot access this one, okay? If someone is a customer, cannot access this one. So we're going to check if someone is a customer, he will not access this one. Here we checked using the can manage, then you'll be able to access. So let's say that if you're a customer, you will not access this box. Okay, if you're a customer, you will not access it. So it means that if you're not a customer, it's only when you'll access it. So how do you do that? Let us get this user at once here and start him in that variable, and then go ahead and say if you is role. So this is role is the one that you use to bind something using what? Using roles. So I can go ahead and put customer like this. Remember, a slug of a customer is just customer like this. And then I open the bracket. So what does it mean here? It means that it is checking if you're a customer, you should be able to access this one. I repeat, it checks if you're a customer, you should be able to access this one. So if I come and refresh, I am a customer here and I'm able to access it. I repeat, in this point here, I'm logged in as a customer and I'm able to access it. Now, if we want to do the opposite, we say that if you are not a customer, you should not, if you're a customer, you should not access. So I'm repeating, if you're a customer, you should not access. To do that, we just simply put here the note. This is the note in PHP. So we put the note a customer. So I'm saying that only people who are not customers can be able to access this one. So if I come and refresh, you'll see if you're a customer, you're not able to access. So that is, but if I'm logged in as a super admin, I'll be able to do what? To access everything on dashboard. So what does that mean? It means that we have demonstrated the both two. We have demonstrated how you can limit someone by use of what? By use of role management. We have also demonstrated how you can, by use of permission. And we have also demonstrated how you can limit someone by use of what? By use of roles. So any of these two can do what? Can work. You can limit by either by permission, you can limit by use of what? By use of role. And we've also demonstrated how you can limit someone from accessing a specific menu or from displaying them a specific menu item using what? Using the permission and roles. So let me see more things that you may need. So if you want to access all the roles of a specific user, you just simply, all the permission of a specific user, you just simply say permissions. So when you say permissions, you'll be able to see all the roles of this user. Let's say that you want to get a list of this user, of the roles of this user. And let me create here a certain box. And in this box, maybe I'm going to, okay, our time is up, but I'm going to conclude very fast. So I've created here another box, and in this box, I'm going to put different things. So let's say maybe in this box, I'm going to put permissions. So I can say maybe my permissions. So how do you access the permission of someone who is logged in? You access them by using the person who is logged in. How do you get him? By saying admin, and then you say user, and then you can access from there. So if I put here permissions, is it like this? Like this, I'll be able to get this permission in form of what? In form of array. So let me come and refresh. It's not getting them. I expected it to get all the permission of this user, and it's not a method. All right. I'll find out why. And then this is how you can check if it's, I'm just going to take you through the methods very fast because our time is up. So this is how you can get the user. This is how you can get the user ID of person who is logged in. This is how you can get the roles. Let me try to check the roles. Permission has failed. I don't know why. Let's try to get the roles. Yeah, you can see the roles they are coming. I think okay. Okay, let me get this one clear. So if you want to get the permissions that are assigned to a specific user, you do like this. So I think this one is now here, where you come and say and assign a specific permission to a specific user. For example, if I come here to users and then give the user a specific permission, like here. That's why you can access it. For example, has a permission to view rooms, something like that. Then this is where you can access it from there. Then you'll be able to see the permission. So this is it's a method. That's why, I mean, it's a function which has so many items. That's why I'm able to see this kind of a JSON. So that's how you get the permissions, literally, of a specific person using in an array. This is how you get the permission, this is how you get the roles. This is how you check if someone has a role of a specific slug. This is how you can check if someone has a what? A permission. This is how you check if someone cannot do a specific role or a specific permission. This one, how you check if the person is administrator. This is how you check if someone has a bunch of a certain role or one of the certain role. And this is how you can create a middleware to limit a person from what? From accessing a specific permission from here. So in your free time, come and demonstrate these things. Try to limit a specific person from accessing a certain role. I mean, from accessing a certain item on the menu, and also from accessing a specific module on your what? On your dashboard. So play with them until you get them right or until you understand everything that we've done that we've demonstrated. So that makes it for our today's class. So let us summarize what we've covered in our today's class. We have covered the permissions. We have seen how you can create a permission, how you can create a role. We have seen how you can put role in a certain permission. We have seen how you can give a role to a certain user. We have seen how you can give a specific permission to a specific what? To a specific user. We have also seen how you can limit a user from doing what? A specific item because of they don't have a specific role. Or we've also limited the user how you can limit them from accessing or doing a specific action because they don't have a specific what? A specific permission. We have also seen how you can limit a user from seeing different items on the menu because they don't have a specific role or a specific permission. So go ahead and practice all those things so you can be able to implement them in your daily programming experience. So see you in the next class. We're going to take it from there, and I think in the next class we're going to finish this project that we started together. We're going to make it now a complete hotel management system where a customer can create an account, a customer can log in, a customer can browse the rooms that are available, a customer can place an order of a certain room. An administrator should be able to receive this order and approve it or decline it. And once an order is placed, the customer should be able to access the room for specific days or specific period of time. And administrator should be able to see the available rooms and the room that are occupied, and also maybe finalizing the dashboard, so the whole system can make sense. So we'll also see how we can publish this system and host it online. So we call it a complete project of how to create a dashboard. So I hope you not miss in the coming lectures. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can always be updated with our videos. So goodbye and see you.